Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you a what I eat in a day to lose weight. I know this can be a sensitive subject as far as who needs to lose weight, someone else's opinions of, all of that. It's not about appearance for me as I age. It's way more about health and energy. So I am on a slow but steady journey to get healthy again. This whole past year, obviously, I sat around a whole lot more than I ever used to. My job doesn't require me to move as much. I've talked about this several times on my channel, but I'm really trying to get healthy, lose body fat, stomach fat, which is linked to heart disease, which runs in my family. So really just trying to have a lot more energy, make better choices, get up, start exercising slowly, which I have been doing. I've been going for really long walks, like hour-long walks in the stroller, just starting slow. So I'm really just trying to get myself healthy again. I love sharing what I eat in a day because I love to cook. I love to make things in the kitchen, put together simple ingredients, but things that are so tasty and delicious. Doesn't feel like dieting. I always talk about that. I don't want to feel deprived. We obviously have to make conscious effort to eat healthy and eat better, but it's a way of life for me. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you're not on a losing weight journey, that is okay. I love sharing recipes and food inspiration, so I hope you can get some from this video. Lots of delicious, fresh, summery type foods in this video. So if you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. My goal is to eat healthier, make better food choices, and make delicious foods. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's jump into what I ate in a day yesterday. Of course, my day starts off with coffee, my usual coffee from Nespresso, which is Stormio, and then my sugar-free hazelnut creamer. I usually sip on that and don't eat breakfast right off because I'm not starving right off. That might change as my metabolism changes. And then I poured myself a large mug of ice water. I admittedly am terrible at drinking water, so I really wanted to up my water intake. And also because I've been going for really long walks, I've been getting a whole lot more thirsty because I'm moving my body. Then I jumped into breakfast, which was just some scrambled eggs with spinach today. I ended up making 3 eggs. I took one of the egg yolks out, so I had about 3 egg whites and 2 yolks. Just started off with a kind of a large helping because I hadn't eaten yet. It was like 10 and I had just, gone for my walk. And then I added the frozen spinach that you see here. I like to add any vegetables that I can. Spinach is so good for you, and especially because I don't eat a ton of meat, I need all of the iron that I can get. So we have our eggs going in with the spinach, and then with the eggs, I did do a tiny bit of salt. I'm trying to lower my salt intake a little bit, but I did do a little bit of seasoning, so salt and black pepper, and then I topped it with some cheese as well. Usually with or after breakfast is when I will have my collagen and fiber drink. I've talked about this so many times on my channel, but I love it. It's just 1 scoop into some water, mixing it all up. I get my fiber, I get my collagen, protein, and I love it. Then moving on to lunch. So what I try to do is to do several mini meals throughout the day, like eat every 2 to 3 hours depending on how hungry I am. I try to aim for 3. And I love doing mini salads. I've made several on my channel and I usually eat them for lunch. This one happened to be just cucumbers, tomatoes, feta, and it's fresh. It gives me all of my, vitamins, minerals, fiber. And then I also like to do the cheese in there because it does give me, calcium and whatnot. And then I ended up putting some balsamic vinegar on top and Italian seasoning, mix that all up. I had it with a half of a sandwich on multi-grain bread, cheese, a little bit of mayo, still like my mayo, some buffalo chicken, and that was my delicious lunch. I highly recommend doing sort of salad type meals, mini meals and snacks because they are so delicious and fresh tasting. I was also craving at-home iced coffee, which I hardly ever do anymore, but I was craving it. So I used some Starbucks dark iced coffee mix, lots of ice, and then this creamer I've never tried before, but it's actually really good. It's a coconut and almond milk vanilla creamer. I did not add any sweetener to this. I think there was a tiny bit of sugar in the creamer, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't overly sweet. So, it took me a few sips, but it actually was delicious. And that was a nice little treat to have yesterday because it was so warm. And then you'll see here, I wanted a snack of some fruit. So Sydney wanted some watermelon and mango, and I thought that sounded like a delicious pick-me-up. I needed a little bit of sugar to give me some energy and like a little energy boost throughout the day. So I ended up making a bowl of fresh mango and watermelon, and how summery and perfect does this look? Now moving on to dinner, I ended up making a dinner salad with some baked sweet potatoes. I haven't had baked sweet potatoes in so long. They were calling my name. So I just gave them a little scrub, washed them, and dried them. I trimmed off the edges. Apparently these have been sitting and a little bit too long, but they were just completely fine. So then you poke a bunch of holes all around the edges of them. I just cover them in holes, get your aggression out. And then I ended up putting them on a baking sheet with foil. I topped them with some olive oil and just a touch of salt for some flavor. Wrap them all up in the foil and you bake them on 400 for like 45, 55 minutes, depending on how big your sweet potatoes are. Mine were pretty large and they came out so delicious. then I made some grilled chicken. I love using my little George Foreman grill. It's just so fast and it makes delicious chicken. I try to make sure when I am consciously eating healthier or trying to lose weight, try to up my protein, because that's something that I definitely struggle on, is eating enough protein. I'm just not the largest fan of it, but I know it's so important for energy, iron, and, lean muscle. So I did some chicken tenders with salt and pepper, and then I used this Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning, whatever seasoning you want. It didn't really matter what seasoning I chose, but it was delicious. And it only takes a few minutes to grill up, only like 5-6 minutes, because these tenders are so small. And then I do let them rest on a plate. Since I was making a dinner salad, I wanted it to be cool, not hot chicken on my salad. So I just let that come to room temperature or like cool down a little bit. And then that way it also stays nice and juicy and tender. If you don't cut into it right off too, you let it rest a little bit. So then, as I said, I was making a salad. So I decided to make a homemade honey mustard. This is my go-to favorite homemade dressing. It's just mayonnaise based. I like the creamy honey mustard, yellow mustard, a little bit of Dijon mustard for some flavor in there, honey, and then some vinegar. A little bit of salt and pepper goes into this as well. Taste test this. I ended up adding a little bit more yellow mustard because I tasted it and it wasn't quite tangy enough for me. It's so delicious. My favorite dressing is honey mustard. So do you guys make your own dressings? If you don't, you should definitely start trying because it's very, very easy. And you don't have to worry about bottles of dressing going to waste constantly. So I had a nice large portion of some greens and I ripped them up. I like doing like a chopped salad. I ended up adding avocado, whatever you have on hand. I had avocado, some tomatoes, hard-boiled eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs on salads, especially with honey mustard dressing. This is just like my favorite staple salad. As far as the baked potato goes, I sliced it, added a little bit of this fake butter, whatever vegan butter spread this was. I did add a tiny sprinkling of brown sugar. I just love butter and brown sugar on my sweet potato, but I did do only a tiny bit of it. Sydney and I had the same thing. Drizzled it with my honey mustard dressing, and it was just the most perfect filling dinner salad, full of fiber, protein. And then at the end of the night, I love a little sweet treat. True Fruit is one of my favorite go-tos. I love the raspberries. These are the cherries. I just love a little something sweet at the end of the night. Every day is completely different. You guys know that. I'm going to continue to share what I eat in a day, both on here as well as, maybe on Insta stories, do some reels or IGTVs. So look out for that if you are looking for more recipes or just food inspiration in general. I love giving that. I like to keep everything, not boring and bland. I like to, change it up and make everything interesting and just exciting, So my main goal is to get rid of the stomach fat. I've never had stomach fat my whole life, and I've just developed it because I have been more sedentary and, eating maybe more like carb, that type of foods. With that said, I do not follow any sort of strict diet or routine or exclusions. It doesn't work for me. What works for you, great, but no, thank you. So mine is just all about a healthy lifestyle and balance. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, got some recipe inspiration, yummy, delicious foods. If you're on a health journey, let's motivate each other because I need to stay motivated. The summertime is where my motivation really stays. I try to get there sometimes in the winters, and then sometimes I just get in an energy rut. When you can't keep up with your child, it's really motivation and eye-opening to be like, okay, I have no energy to even play with my child outside. We gotta make a change. So making a change for a healthier, longer life. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in Wednesday's video. Bye.
Bye.